It's not often that I receive a watch and go to research it and come up empty. Yet such was the case with this watch. Today, I'd like to present to you an extremely rare and unique Omega. Its reference is 14249. And a search on Omega's archives literally came up empty. It wasn't until I opened up the case back that I received a clue. Inside the case back was a key with the number 26. After doing some research, I found that this mark correlated with a case maker named Ponte Yannetti. Ponte Yannetti was a company in Geneva, Switzerland that was established in 1934. He was known to make high-end jewelry. In fact, that's really how he got his cut in the business. He made bracelets, extremely intricate, fancy, and really well-made bracelets for the likes of Patek Philippe and others. He went on to sell his company in 1969 to a company that we all know well and is having a resurgence right now, Piaget, which continues to correlate with this jewelry-focused end of the watchmaking market. And when we look at this watch, that makes a lot of sense. It's definitely of the more jewelry-esque vein. Just one quick look at the case and we see a myriad of different finishes. You have a tapestry style finish flanking the left and right side of the case. You have an abundance of different finishing techniques, including satin, brushed, and mirror polished finishes. There's a whole slew of different complex beveled edges throughout the anterior portion of the case. And not only was that tapestry style finish limited to the case alone, but then we move on to the dial, which is also of that same style. Now, I know a lot of other brands, especially Rolex, did use a tapestry style dial. There's one that's famous for its appearance in American Psycho, worn by Christian Bale. But Omega was not known for using this type of style of dial. It's watches like these that really get you up in the morning. It's not something that you often see, and its oversized case really gives a huge presence on the wrist. This thing came in at a whopping 28 by 36 millimeter. Now by comparison, a tank is only 23 by 30, so this thing is really of modern day proportions, even though it dates all the way back to 1961. It's really fascinating to receive vintage watches of this vein when you see a case that just exemplifies so many intricate details that was, quite frankly, really difficult to manufacture. Powering it all was a caliber 571. Now the 500 series of Omega movements were definitely an upgrade over the 300s. The 300s still being bumper movements, while the 500s moved to an automatic winding rotor. They exhibited higher beat frequency, more power reserve, and increased accuracy. Now this watch didn't receive a chronometer certified movement that we see in the Constellations and sometimes also in the Seamasters. But nonetheless, the movement definitely fits the bill for this vein of watch. It definitely comes in a bit thick for my liking. I typically like to wear thinner watches, especially when you consider the kind of watch it is. I mean, it's really just a classical dress watch that, like I said, has amazing different types of finishes on there. I would have loved to have seen it somehow fitted with a thinner movement, allowing it to be worn a little more discreetly. But this is definitely not an Omega you're gonna see on somebody's wrist walking out. And this is why I love vintage watches so much. I mean, a watch like that, you put it on and it just inspires you to interact with the world. It's not really the one that you're gonna slap on, put some sweatpants and a hoodie and then walk out the door. I mean, it really does inspire you to put on your Sunday best and go out there, interact with the world. And that's what I love about watches. It's not their monetary value, but it's what they evoke when you put them on. I hope you guys liked watching the footage. I certainly enjoyed shooting this watch. It was a pleasure to have and own for the brief time that I was able to have it in my possession, and it's off to a good home. And if you like watches like these and other interesting vintage watches, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you think that I'm doing a decent job, please hit the like button as well. And leave a comment down below with some future ideas of videos you guys would like to see in the future. Thank you as always, guys.